Good morning. Are you Dylan Blackwell? And Mr. Blackwell previously was here, entered a plea of guilty to sexual assault of a child. The agreement was for a cap of 15 years in prison. I've received the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
Yes, Sean.
Are there any additions or corrections?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Vasquez, you may proceed.
Well, Judge, you already know what I'm going to plead for. Delon was 21 when this occurred, when the girl was not yet 17. She was 6 or 7 months shy of 17. It was very stupid and irresponsible and hormonally insane. I don't know if he's been living underneath a rock or what for the last 5 years, but he should know someone that age cannot consent.
Let me ask Mr. Hoffpower, or what I have read in the pre-sentence report, and there's no statements of interested parties, and so the victim or her family, no one responded to this. What I'm reading is that the girl I guess here's my question. I don't see any allegations that this was not consensual. Now, I obviously understand that legally she cannot consent. So I'm not talking about legally, I'm talking about factually consensual. It appears to me as though it was factually a consensual party, and they actually reached out, the girls, to Mr. Blackwell, if I'm correct. Go see alcohol, want a party, and all the things happened consensually, factually. Am I correct on that?
That's the understanding. Now, if we go by just the defendant's account, which is in the PSI.
We don't have another account. And so if we don't have another account, then I guess my question is, why are we even talking about, and let me tell you something, Mr. Blackwell, what you did was absolutely stupid. But when we've got a 21-year-old and a 16-year-old, when the 16-year-old's the one that reached out to go party and do these things, do I feel like there needs to be some punishment, some rehabilitation, some better judgment calls? 1000%. Do I feel like I'm going to send this young man to prison for that? I mean, Mr. Hoffpower, I mean, is that what you're asking?
Your Honor, we just, with the cap, all we have, I can't speak to why they did not respond to probation. We were ready for trial. If you remember this case, we brought this to, we were ready to go to trial.
Right.
And so when we notified them about when the sentencing was. Now, the account by the defendant is, there's still no attrition in regards to whether or not that they can't consent, even when he knows she can't consent, he acts like it was what the court's acting like it was. He picked up someone and didn't check with her how old she was. And it seems to me that he's not acting like he did something wrong. It's just, I just picked up a girl off of Instagram and brought him out to party. And I don't see where there's any, acknowledgement of guilt in this, and I believe we're here, he pled guilty.
Well, he pled guilty and could go to prison for 15 years, so that's
Understood.
some acknowledgement, I would think.
Now,
I mean,
also included in this, Judge, is the court has received.
I have that, and I'm
is
going to
that-
get to that in just a minute.
that As to the other, I can't speak to, we've given them notice to when the hearing is, and they've been called by probation.
Okay.
And that was the plea, was the cap to avoid a trial. So that's what happened. And the state is just leaving it for the court to make that decision. We're not arguing forcefully. before prison time, we're just leaving it at the discretion of the court.
I mean, no matter what, Mr. Blackwell now is gonna have to register as a sex offender, gonna have to go through treatment, all that stuff is gonna be out there. And I don't want anyone to think that what I'm saying is that, Mr. Blackwell, that I think what you did was okay in any way, because it's not. I just don't think this is the case and this is the set of facts unless there's something else that I'm missing for some lengthy prison sentence, when, you know, we're not talking about a 12 or a 13-year-old. We're talking about someone that was almost legally able to consent, reaching out and.
I think the court needs to know there is one other factor that adds to this, that videos of this act were posted online. So a 16-year-old in sexual acts were posted
Right.
online in this case.
But who did that? That
That is
wasn't-
something that was to be proven whether or not,
Who posted
It was
what?
posted.
And yeah,
but
that's.
it was posted.
I mean, it was a ridiculous situation. It was. I mean, I guess, Mr. Blackwell, tell me how you feel about this.
My defense, I did make some irrational behavior. I should have been more level-headed about the situation.
I mean, you understand that no matter how willing someone is, you are the older person and have to make better decisions. So tell me what's been going on in jail. Looks like we have last year, looks like pretty much every single month, just about, you had some type of write-up. April, May, June, August. August was a bad month. September, November.
Most of my cases, I was talking after red time, or when it was time for me to get up, I ended up oversleeping, so I received verdicts for that.
But if you, you're right, but I mean, if you can't follow rules while you're in custody, that doesn't give me a lot of good feelings about whether you can follow rules if I give you a probation. Does that make sense to you? That you're coming in front of me, of course, since you've pled, you haven't been in trouble, so that's a good thing. Knowing that you're gonna come in front of me and possibly go to prison for 15 years. I mean, I think I've explained my position and why I have this position. And again, I don't want you to think that I think what you did was okay, because it wasn't. But because of the situation and because of the ages of everyone, and because that there is absolutely no evidence that this was factually not consensual, what I'm going to do today, Mr. Blackwell, is I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. But today I'm going to defer all proceedings and place you on probation for a period of 10 years. You are going to pay a $1,000 fine. You're going to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation, which means being on the sex offender caseload. You will have to register as a sex offender. And you will have to, you're not going to be allowed to have social media, at least for some amount of time until I say so. I am also going to order that as a condition of your probation, you enter and successfully complete the cognitive track of the ISF program. That means you're not getting out of jail today, right? You're going to a program that is designed to teach, especially younger people, better ways of thinking and decision-making. And I'm hoping that when you do that, you'll get out and you will make obviously better decisions, be successful on this probation, because the opportunity that you're being given today is huge. You actually do not have a felony conviction on your record. And I'm not doing that for you. I want that clear to everyone. The reason I'm giving you a deferred probation is because if you violate that cap of 15, it's off the table. So if you violate your probation, I can sentence you anywhere between 2 years in prison all the way up to 20 years in prison. So this is your chance. I don't want you coming back in here later and saying, well, I need help with this, or I tested positive and now I need help. You need to ask for help ahead of time if you need help with anything. If you're drinking too much, if you're smoking marijuana, I don't know whatever it is. If you need help getting a job, if you need help with where to live, you better ask those things and not get in trouble and then come back and ask me for a chance again, because this is the chance I'm giving you. Do you understand? I do need y'all to do, before you leave, I'm going to hand you a trial court certification that shows this was an agreement I followed, and so you've waived your right to appeal. Y'all did not fill out the sex offender registration paperwork. You're going to need to go over some paperwork before you leave the courtroom today and sign it. Mr. Vasquez will go over that with you. It explains the process of sex offender registration requirements. It's very important that you do that correctly for two reasons. One, it's part of your probation that you have to register as a sex offender. Two, it's the law that you have to register. And if you don't, not only will your probation potentially be revoked, you'll also have another felony offense. It's that serious. So that's to protect the community, so that I feel better about what I've done today and that everybody knows that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Do you understand? All right, here's that certification. If y'all will get that other done before he leaves the courtroom, please.
Thank you, Judge.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.